Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, Platinum members, welcome to today's program. This is Todd Walters, and very excited to be talking to you guys. I know we're well into 2015, got 1 year under the wraps here, and you know what? By all accounts, it looks like it's going to be a fantastic year. As a matter of fact, recently we were with some of our top program members, and based on their businesses being quite a bit up, making a lot of quantum leaps, it looks like that just about everybody had a really good 2014. So if you did not, you're going to want to get into the game. And speaking of game, I'd like to welcome our head coach, Mr. Craig Proctor. Mr. Proctor.
How you doing there, Todd Walters?
I'm doing pretty good, my man. Having a good time. The sun is shining. It's like 55 degrees, almost going to be 60 tomorrow here in Atlanta. So we're in good shape, my man.
Well, I wish I could say that up here in Toronto. We're pretty cold up here still, man. There is no sign. The groundhog said we're going to have some more winter here, so we're going to have to. Yeah, that rodent has put us through some more winter. But hey, I really like our football theme for the Anaheim Super Conference. Talk to us a little bit about why that is an event our members do not want to miss.
Yeah, it is going to be the Super Bowl of Platinum Money Making Summit. So if you're kind of new to the Platinum program, what happens every spring is we put together a 3-day event that we call the Summit, the Platinum Money Making Summit. It's different than the fall event, our Millionaire Agent Maker Conference, in that we really drill down on the things that you should be doing to make more money, create more profit in your real estate business. So if that sounds appealing to you, like if you like the idea of making more profits, then you don't miss this. As a matter of fact, we've had to get a little extra size room here, Craig, because based on polling, it looks like our attendance is going to be almost maxed out. So we've been working on the agenda. Craig, you've thrown a lot of great ideas here on what we need to do, and members who are going to be sharing what's working in their business, some of our top program members, on building a championship team. You know what? You got to get registered. So just as a sidebar, you can do that on the coaching site. The registration link is now up. You can just go to cpcoaching.net and get registered, and you and your key man need to be there. So yes, 3 days here, Craig. Day one is you and I. So you and I got a jam-packed agenda on day one, back and forth with sessions on building a better real estate sales team with a lot more profitability than you have right now, and getting into the nitty-gritty details of that, as well as some advancements in technology and things that you can do to better leverage yourself and your business. So excited about that. Day two, we've got an all-star lineup of several platinum members, all of them millionaire, multi-millionaire real estate agents, sharing what's working in their business and what's not. And in day three, we continue on with that. Hey, at the end of day one, actually we have what we're calling the Super Bowl of Summit Spectacular Halftime Dinner and Show. So we've got a huge halftime party. Like, this is nothing compared to Katy Perry's deal. This is better. So we're going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. You got to bring your jersey. So if you got a football jersey, you're going to want to wear it to this party. You can expect a great halftime event that evening of day one. So I know how much this group loves to have a great time, celebrate success. We're going to flat do it the night of day one there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I know you're expecting a lot of people at the Super Conference there too, Craig, in Anaheim in April. So it's going to be great, man. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a rocking good time, as Dick Clark would say. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working hard preparing for that conference. So I hope everyone gets themselves registered, and you bring your key people with you. I've also got a few other things I've been working on I want to share with everyone today, so let me know when you're ready for that, Todd.
Well, probably as we're getting settled in, I think it's probably a good time to do that right now. So why don't I do this? You want me to throw the screen over to you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm gonna attempt to do that, Craig. So I'm gonna make you the presenter. We'll see how good I am at clicking buttons. So you are now the presenter, Mr. Proctor.
Okay. All right, well, the first thing we're going to do is take everyone to the coaching site. So everybody should be seeing the coaching site.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing is I got to figure out how to log myself onto my own coaching site. All right, so there we are. Okay, so many of you have heard me talk about our USP ad generator, and we now have that pretty much up and ready to go. So let's show everybody how to access that. Okay, so you're going to go to Library, and you're going to go to the ad generator. Okay, now, up until now, you've been able to use the ad generator for all of your classified ads and all of your editorial ads. Okay, so that's been available forever, right? You've been able to click on any ad you want, so upscale homes, and the ad comes up, and you can download the hotline script here, and you can download the special report. Okay, that one doesn't have a report because we're offering a list of properties. So what I want to add to this is I want to add the actual landing page. Okay, so I'm working with Steve Raitt at Success Website. So you know what that's like. I got to get them to do it. I know what I want it to do, but I want our members to be able to type in their less branded domain name, and the appropriate landing page would come up. So you never would have to guess or wonder about what landing page you should be using for any of the scripts. Okay, so if we go to any of the editorial ads, same thing, right? You can download the script. Here's the special report. Okay, so the editorial ads, they offer a special report, and the special report is generic. Okay, so you can use it right out of the box, so to speak. And these ads are generic, right? So, Todd, you're in Atlanta, so you would just switch Toronto to Atlanta, and boom, it says Atlanta. Okay, so we're even enabling you to change you can pick both hotline and website, or one or the other, domain only or hotline only. You can enter your domain name. So it's pretty easy to run the ads perfectly correct. But you haven't been able to do this with the USP ads. And what I noticed, especially on the Friday ad clinics, is many of our members, even in Platinum, mess up the USP ads. So I thought, well, it must be our fault. I guess we're not making it easy enough. So we now have added the USP ads to the ad generator. So here are the performance guarantees for buyers and sellers. Okay, these are all your different performance guarantees. So let's say I want to run a performance guarantee USP for sellers. These are my choices. Your home sold in X days or I buy it. Your home sold in X days or I'll pay you X. These are all your different USPs. So when you click on any one of them, the ad comes up. Okay? Your home sold in 120 days, guaranteed, or I'll buy it myself. Okay? And now you have the hotline script, and you've got the special report. Okay? So each one of these ads has a call to action, which is you can call the agent, but more likely the prospect will probably want to order the special report. And we've told you guys you should be offering a special report, but many of you reported back saying, well, I don't know where to find the special report. So it's really easy, okay, for you to find everything. It's all in one spot. So let's look at another one here. Your home sold, or I'll pay you $1,000 cash. Okay, so there's the ad, and there's the special report, there's the hotline script, and I want to have the website on here as well. Okay, now our member might say, well, I don't know about this here, 120 days. That doesn't sound good in my marketplace. How about 30 days? We're in a real hot market. Your home sold in 30 days. And I sell big, expensive homes, Todd, so $1,000 isn't going to matter to my sellers, so I want to change that to $2,000. Okay, so that's how easy it is for you to go in and customize this. Let's pick out a buyer USP. Okay, so how about, well, let's do this one here, buyback. $5,000 savings on your home purchase guaranteed, or I'll pay you $500. So I'm in Southern California, and I realized that maybe a $5,000 savings isn't big enough, right? So I could change that. I could change that to a $10,000 savings. Oops. Or the penalty is $5,000. Now all you have to do is once you fill in all your information, it'll auto-populate the ad, and then you can post this online or send it to a print publication, whatever. So we're trying to template this because we want all of you to run your ads a certain way. Okay, here's another example. Buy any one of our listings, and if you're not satisfied within 18 months, I'll buy it back. Well, mine's York Regions because that's where I live, in York Regions. So Todd would be Atlanta. So this would say Atlanta's only buyer protection plan. And Todd, you might not want to do 18 months. You might only want to do 12 months. So everybody gets this, right? It's that easy. So any USP that you want to run for buyers or sellers, you click on the USP, the ad will come up, and then you're going to build your own ad. You're going to customize it. Okay, you've got the hotline script that you need. You've got the special report that you need. And I have designed the landing pages as well, but again, I got to wait for Steve to do it, or that'll be already done for you. So I'd like your feedback on that. So that's one of the things that I've been working on. Okay, the other thing I've been working on is upgrading the Quantum Leap site. Okay, so I think what we need to do here, Todd, is all of our Platinum members should get courtesy of us, they should get free access to the Quantum Leap site, just like they get free access to all of the coaching materials. Mm-hmm. We're going to arrange for that to happen. So you folks probably don't know what I've been working on over the last few years, but the Quantum Leap site, if we go there, has been completely revamped. Everything is online. And I think we should give you folks access to this. There's 4 stages of the Quantum Leap program, but more than that, I have created a very good, my opinion, I created it, a very good Fast Start manual. Okay, this is the Fast Start manual for the Quantum Leap system. It's got 150, I think it's actually 130 pages. If we make this 100%, yeah, there's 130 pages, I believe. I don't know why that says 150 because I've got the thing in front of me. It's 130 pages, but that's what this looks like. Okay, so it's everything you want to know about the system. Okay, everything that you need to know is in this 150-page manual. I think we give it to all. We just give it to all of our Platinum members, and we give them access to this along with everything else that they have. It shows you where to find everything as a Quantum Leap member. Now, the other thing that I've created that you guys are all going to get access to is you're going to get access to our new team system manual. Okay, my wife and I have worked on this, mostly her, have worked on the new team system manual. So this is everything that you need to know about how to recruit, hire, train, and manage your team. Okay, there's the index. You can see there's 140 pages here of everything you need. Now, this has just been updated. So we are in the process of updating and upgrading everything that we offer you. So we shouldn't hear from anybody that there's anything outdated or anything stale. That's just simply not the case. So that's what I have to show you. And I'll let you take it back now, Todd.
All right, a couple of quick questions here for you, my man, now that we've got everybody's attention. I want to talk about this whole free report thing. Many members, that jump into our program, they kind of nibble around the edges on what we do. The hardest thing that we do every day is we get up, we try to get folks to copy. And as goofy as that sounds, it is the most difficult part of my day. So tell me about getting a free report versus you just telling people to call me straight up. Like, why is that such a big deal?
Okay, so let's go back to the USP ad generator here for a second, and let's look at some of these ads. Okay, so where am I here? Okay, that's let me just go here. Okay, what you're gonna, I think you'll agree with, is that the best prospects probably will contact you, right? The best prospects would call you. But what about all the people that aren't quite ready to contact an agent yet? So if I run an ad like this, your home sold in 120 days guaranteed, or I'll buy it, no doubt the best prospects, they'll do this, right? They'll call me directly. But what about all the other prospects that aren't quite ready to speak to a real estate agent? Do we want them just to go away? Of course not. So we need to offer them something of value in a non-threatening way to get them to raise their hands. So that's the free report on how the program is going to benefit them. So no gimmicks. For more information on my exclusive guaranteed sale program, order the report. And there's two ways to order the report. You can go to my domain name, or you can call my free recorded message. So we're not deterring prospects from calling you. The best ones will do that, and that's absolutely what we want to happen. But let's be honest. The best ones will do that, but we don't want to lose the opportunity to gather leads from all the other buyers and sellers out there that aren't quite ready to contact a real estate agent. So that's why we have the call me direct option, but we also offer a free special report, and we give prospects a non-threatening way to get that information.
Good answer. So bottom line is we generate more leads doing it that way.
We generate more leads and more opportunities by doing it that way.
All right. Okay, so all right, another angle on this is a common question I get. A lot of members want to take these ads that we have, and and they want to know how they can generate leads online. I don't have a lot of money, or I don't want to spend a lot of money. I want to, where can I run these, quote, branded USP ads at online and get listings? And I know you've got some opinions about that, and we'll drill down on that a little bit. But, for the most part, seller prospects, they're not necessarily going online looking for a real estate agent. Now, that's not to say that we can't get good leads from seller prospects online, because many of them are buyers looking for houses and sellers looking for information like home evaluations and that sort of thing. So there are opportunities to generate now business and future business using these USP ads online. So Craig, just the other day, we had a really good webinar with Success Website and Rick Brash on marketing via Facebook. So just get into that a little bit while we're on the topic of marketing and leveraging social media and online marketing to generate leads in general, and how easy it is just taking our ads and using those. Greg, you can talk now. That's one of those.
Sorry, I had my microphone muted, and it's too bad because what I was saying was brilliant, but nobody could hear me. Okay, so look, when a new medium comes along, and Facebook and social media certainly isn't that new anymore, but what we find is the same messages that work the best for sellers offline work the best for sellers online. So our members that are most successfully using Facebook are using an online home evaluation. That's the best campaign to attract the best seller leads, but they're doing it on Facebook. And of course, you can target the very zip code. So what zip code is your house in Atlanta, Todd?
30504.
Okay, so you can offer an online home evaluation to that zip code, and you can have that message go only to people in that zip code, and you can specify what age group sees the ad and what age group doesn't see the ad. So certainly you don't want people, under a certain age seeing that ad, because obviously they're not buying or selling real estate. You could choose all male. You could choose all female. You can choose what time, what days, and what time of the day that ad appears. Okay, you can control your budget. So what we're finding, it's the messages that work best are constant. It doesn't matter whether it's Google pay-per-click. It doesn't matter whether it's a direct mail, it's a postcard they're getting in their mailbox. It doesn't matter what the medium is. The best ads seem to work the best. Those messages work the best regardless of the medium. Now, the idea here is we want to have a layered approach when it comes to marketing. It's very dangerous to be over-dependent on any one message or any one medium. So that's why we want to experiment with the different messages, find out which ones work the best, and we want to have a layered approach. So some of you are going to find out that Facebook works really well for you, and you're going to repeat the same ads over and over and over again. You're going to have an arsenal of ads that you just keep running over and over and over again. Now, when new members come to us, some of them are thinking, well, print advertising is dead, direct mail is dead, so they have a conviction that that's not going to work for them, so they don't even test it. They don't even do it because they, in their minds, already know it's not going to work. And the opposite is true. We have some members that think, well, Facebook, that's not going to work. That's where high school kids hang out. I'm not going to generate leads there. And the truth is we have members making a lot of money online and offline, and the most successful members are doing it all. And they're doing it all very well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I want to make sure everybody understands that. There's no one marketing system, or let me say it this way, having one marketing system is probably not the greatest thing in the world. And I'll give some people some examples here. This is important. I would pay very close attention to this. Every now and then, Craig and I have the privilege of being up front and center when something new comes along that's really good. I mean, new technology that's really good. So good example would be the Commissions Inc. system. It's a superior IDX system to many. So it shows up. A lot of Platinum members run to invest money in it, while at the same time they ignore or begin to even stop doing other things that were working for them. I'll give you an example. I was talking to a member the other day, Craig, and he had a really good pay-per-click marketing campaign going using Success website. He was in 2013 and into 2014 had made about $150,000 in gross commission income on about $10,000 of investment. I would say that's a pretty good return. Okay, but rushed out, went and bought the Commissions Inc. system. Nothing wrong with that. But he stopped doing other things that were working, i.e. pay-per-click, system that was making him a profit. So when I quizzed him about it, he didn't really have a good answer other than, well, I didn't have enough money to do this new thing, so I quit doing that thing because I felt like I could, quote, get more leads from this new thing. And I was like, holy crap, dude. You don't ever stop doing something that's making you a profit. Craig and I want you to implement new advanced marketing strategies. That's expansion of your real estate business, but holy moly, when you've got a system that's making you money, you're making a profit from it, you put a fence around it, and you keep it going while simultaneously rolling out other things. But the last, otherwise you get what we call incremental gains. So, and Craig, you say it, this is the quantum leap system, not the incremental gain system. Matter of fact, I wrote about that in the last newsletter package that just hit everybody's mailboxes. So I'd take a look at the last page of the Platinum Perspectives newsletter, and I get into that pretty well. So anyway, that was an observation here. I wanted to make sure everybody was well aware of that. So anyway, good work on that, Craig. I like the USP ad generator. It's going to come in real handy. The Quantum Leap system, some of the updates there. We'll make sure all the Platinum members get a link to that, and they can download these materials and use them. So thank you, sir. Appreciate that, my man. All right, so why don't we take a few minutes here, Craig, and get into some discussion on what we want to talk about today, which is what we should be doing. You know, our routine.
Well, this leads into a pretty good. I mean, right here in the team system manual, you know, we get right into this starting on page 30. What are you worth per hour? Okay. What do you do all day long? And we ask you to assign a time frame next to that. And we're trying to get you to understand that most of the stuff that you're doing, you shouldn't be doing. And there's a few things that you do that if you focused doing more of that, you would make a lot more money. So what happens is we become habitualized. We're creatures of habit. And because we've been doing certain activities over and over again for a long time, it's just the way it is, and we don't even question how we spend our time or what we do. And we don't like it generally when people mess with our routine, right? Like, how many of you have a morning ritual? You have a routine. You know, mine might be getting up. First thing I like to do, Todd, is I stumble out of bed, I get right into the shower. That's like number one thing. I don't want to deal with the whole world until I jump in the shower. And then after I have a shower, right straight down to the kitchen, and I pour myself a coffee. And I suppose my wife and my kids are probably talking to me in between that while I'm stumbling around. But it's like I don't even hear anybody until I have my shower, I have my coffee, and then so I've got this ritual. And then even when I get down to my desk here in my home office, I've got a ritual, right? There's certain things I'm going to do in a certain order. And, you know, we defend our rituals. One of the big things for me, and, you know, you and I, we talked about this at the Titanium meeting that we just had in Orlando. We talked about how many of our members are habitualized when it comes to checking email all the time and checking our voicemail. And it's like we're addicted to this behavior, right, where we waste all kinds of time every single day checking our email, responding to our email, checking Facebook, pulling off our voicemail messages. And what happens is the day gets away on you. We can't live productively if we're constantly interrupted. So what I got in the habit of doing is I just unplug the phone, and my voicemail indicates that I will return calls at certain times during the day. So, you know, your outbound message might say, you know, hi, it's Todd. I check my messages at 9, at 1 p.m. and at 4 p.m. And, you know, you can expect a return call in that time frame. Same thing with emails. We've got to learn to group things together. See, as a real estate agent, here's what I did. As a real estate agent, I had all my listings grouped together, and I had all my follow-up calls grouped together. I created a perfect week. Now, sometimes the week wasn't perfect, but that's our job, is to try to make it as perfect as possible. So, Todd, you knew where to find me every Monday evening between 7 and 9. You didn't have to question where I was. You didn't have to sit and wonder, well, is Craig out in listing appointments tonight, or is he out with buyers, or is he training his team? You knew every Monday evening between 7 and 9, I was calling back new leads and returning calls from prospects. That was written in stone. Every Thursday evening between 7 and 9, same thing. Every Saturday morning between 11 and 1, same thing. But then other times were set aside for office training. So every Monday morning at 10 a.m., Todd, you didn't have to wonder where I was. You knew for a decade where I was every Monday morning. Between 10 and 12:30, I was coaching and training my team members. And when I was out listing houses, all my listings took place on other evenings. So Tuesday evenings were a listing night. Wednesday evenings were a listing night. And I grouped them together. I wouldn't have one listing. I'd have a listing at 7, another listing at 8, another listing at 9 p.m. Boom, boom, boom. If it was Saturday afternoon, I'd have 3 or 4 listings together. So we grouped things together. And when I made my phone calls, it wasn't sporadic. It's like, oh, I'm going to make a call for 5 minutes and then do something else and then call for another 5 minutes. Nope. It was 2 hours. Nobody bothered me. I ain't answering the phone. I'm making phone calls. Boom, 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 boom. So that's how we work productively. The other thing that's important is when we're setting goals that we have a time frame for that goal. You know, Todd, you and I are pretty good at that, right? What we do is we say, look, this is what we want to provide our platinum members, and this is what we want to provide our titanium members, and here's the date that it's going to be done by. Now, I got to be truthful. There's many times when Todd and I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, or where we're going to find the resources, or when we're going to find the time. But, for example, when we set the meeting here in Orlando a week or so ago, once the meeting is set, the rooms are booked, it's like it all has to come together. So, Todd, you and I like to refer that as working backwards. Mm-hmm. And we've done that most of our careers. We've worked backwards. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, I mean, I don't know how any other way to do it. I mean, a goal without a deadline, or a list without a deadline, or a to-do list without a deadline. So, backing up on that a little bit, I've been doing lots of meetings here with some of our titanium guys. We'll spend the day, one-on-one working on their business, and a list is generated from those 8 hours of work, and the list is several pages long. So then it takes the member another 3 hours on their own to go through their list and prioritize it, create it, and get it to me. And I just hold them accountable to it. Okay, what's your deadline for doing these things? And if there are no deadlines, they probably don't get done. So here's a great example. So we were in Orlando, Craig, for the Platinum OSA workshop. And the Friday before, I spent several hours with Marnie Bennett and two of her key people. And from those several hours, I guess we probably spent about 6.5 hours together. She generated a list of about 60 items, action items, just in that time frame to work on in her business. Well, you know what? Before Tuesday evening came, she had 22 of them done, done. That's how these top members. It's no big secret that she makes $5-6 million a year selling real estate. The top guys are very voracious and fast implementers. They work from things to do, and there's a deadline to get them all done with them. There's a sense of urgency about it. And, and they don't spend a lot of time on email. So you'll like this, Craig. This morning, I did a sales meeting with one of our Platinum members and their team. Okay, so I'm on Skype, and they're doing their team meeting. So I spent about 45 minutes with them on Skype there. And the first topic of discussion with all of the agents was using email. So I started out quite succinctly. I said, okay, here's how it works. I'm going to pretend that you guys are on my team, and here's how it works. When you get a buyer client, the second that you sign a buyer agreement, from that moment until the buyer is under contract, to buy a house, you do not, under any circumstances, email the buyer. And if I catch you emailing the buyer or discussing email with the buyer, replying to an email from the buyer, your butt's mine. You're in trouble. And that's a game changer. See, I think you and I probably have some advantages, Craig. We didn't necessarily, enter the real estate business, when email was so common. So we had some advantages like that. We were used to just picking up the phone and calling people and saying, hey, I've got a couple of houses to show you. Didn't think much of it, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, now
that wasn't. I do believe that was an advantage.
Oh, there's no question about it. So now there's, like you said, it's habitual. It's habits. So I want everybody to listen really close, okay? I understand as Platinum Coach that you're using IDX systems and, in other, the MLS and other things to, quote, deliver listings, properties to your buyers. I get that and I understand it. But let's be really clear. The email system, your IDX system, the MLS cannot sell houses. It does not sell homes. It can't show houses. It can't open lock boxes. It can't negotiate deals. It can't do any of those things, okay? So the way it's supposed to work is when you sign a buyer to an agreement, you want to pretend that the emails that they're getting from your property search sites, for example, you just pretend like they're not getting them. Just pretend like it doesn't exist. You go to work, you go find a house. You're looking at on-market properties, off-market properties, and you're finding homes. You call the buyer. Again, you call the buyer and say, hey, buyer, I've got 3 homes to show you. Can we take a look at them Saturday morning? Right? If the buyer emails you, you pick up the phone and call them. Okay? And if the buyer says, hey, can you email me those? The answer is no, but we can take a look at them Saturday morning. I can't email you properties that I can't fit into my computer, and you can laugh about that. Just trust me. Let's go take a look at them. And that's the way it'll work. I bet my Hummer that you will up your productivity substantially if you can make it a point to quit using email back and forth. Like, hey.
Okay, so Todd, let's talk about the mistake that most agents make with IDX. I just did a Quantum Leap call webinar with the new Quantum Leap members, and here's what they think. They think the name of the game is we use IDX and we give all the buyers the information, and then we call the buyers up every once in a while and we say, hey Todd, it's Craig. Any houses you want to look at? And the buyer says no, we're good, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you approach the buyers from the standpoint of they're not getting emails. So just to address that on its face too, Craig, and then we'll get into some scripting on that. On its face, you don't know if the buyer's getting all of the properties that match their home buying criteria. As a matter of fact, I guess they're not. Just through human error, not all homes will show up based on search criteria. You know, we know agents, when they list properties, they make mistakes. Wrong area, wrong school, a typo here, a typo there. The IDX system won't grab it and deliver it. So you have to anticipate that they're missing out on homes. This is where you come in. Your job is to go find them, figure it out, call the buyer up, and go look at them. So when we're calling buyers back that are not our clients, so these are prospects, okay? It is, and I want to repeat, no matter what anybody's telling you out there, the IDX companies and these other companies, it is the universal callback script that we give you. That is the script that works. It's not called the universal callback script for nothing. So now here's one. A script is born based on how you do things. So Craig, your callback script is a result of your process for working with buyers. See, the majority of real estate agents out there that aren't in our programs, here's how they work with buyers. They call the buyer up and they basically try to get a connection and say, can I go show you houses? And that's what they are. They're taxi cab drivers. There's no real value there. Okay? Our method for working with buyers consists of sitting down with them, listening to them, getting to know them a little bit more, then presenting to them how we do things and the value that we offer. Okay? They like it so much, they sign a buyer agreement that establishes our fee for getting paid and how we're going to deliver these services, and then we go to work for them. That's our method and process for working with buyers. Okay? So it's different than the way the majority of the industry does it. So as a result of that, a script is born. And the script that we have for calling back leads, whether it's an IDX system or a sign call or a free report, it's the same script. Okay, so let me give you an example of the things that, quote, change on the script. It's the same format and outline, but some of the words might change. Like in the beginning, where it says right there on your screen, hey, Mr. Smith, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and the reason I'm calling is, all right, that's it, because they want to know who are you and why you're bothering me. So, Mr. Smith, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and the reason I'm calling is I received your request to look for homes online using our property search site at housesatlanta.net, and just wanted to let you know that we've given you access to do that, to search away. Is that okay? So in other words, I want to, at some level of consciousness and subconscious, get them to say, yeah, thanks, like a thank you. And that opens the door for me to ask them questions. So let me repeat that, okay? Hey, Mr. Smith, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and the reason I'm calling is I received your request to search for homes, online using our property search site, housesatlanta.net. and just wanted to let you know that you've got full access to search away. Is that okay? All right, and that's it. And just about every time the response is, yeah, thank you. And then the rest of the script takes care of itself, right?
Right, so that's no different. What the intro has always said is, here's who I am, and I'm calling you because, and you're going to reference why. So, it might be I received a request for a hot list of properties. It might be I received a request for a special report. It might be because we've given you access to property search from our website. It doesn't matter. The only reason you're referencing what it was that why they initially contacted you is so it makes sense to them, because everyone that answers the phone wants to know, well, who is this and why are they calling me? You're making it very clear always during the intro who you are, and the fact that the reason you're calling them is they've opted in. They've requested something of us first, and we're simply returning an inquiry or responding to an inquiry they made. In other words, they started this. And if you're doing a good job with the intro, the response should be one of, thank you, like you're creating reciprocity. And that opens the door to go right into the probing questions, which is, are you thinking of making a move? So how do realtors do it wrong? It's almost like, I got to say, it's almost like all the technology we have now is getting in the way of actually doing the things that make us money. You talked about email a second ago. Yeah, we don't talk to people anymore. We're not going to do that. We're too smart for that. We're going to email people. We're going to text message people. Look, you can't sell houses that way, folks. Don't hide behind your email. Members are always coming to me saying, well, Craig, if the prospect doesn't leave their phone number, they leave me a fake phone number, what's the magical email that I should send them to get them to come forward? Or what's the magical voicemail message I should leave them? There isn't one. It doesn't exist. We've not figured out any magic that you can use on email or voicemail. If there was, trust me, we would gladly pass that on to you. But if you can't speak to the prospects, you can't ask them the probing questions in the script. And if you can't ask them the probing questions in the script, you're not going to determine their motivation and timing, and you're certainly not going to get an appointment. Same thing with IDX. Well, I got an offer in IDX, Todd, because all my competitors offer IDX, so I've got an offer in IDX. Okay, great. So now you're an offer in IDX. And for some realtors, they give full access to buyers to the IDX without making them opt in, and without ever attempting to get together with them, because they just figure, they rationalize it by saying, well, all my competitors do it that way. Well, look, all of our competitors do all kinds of foolish things. Doesn't mean we do it that way. So what you have to have in front of you is, what are my rules of engagement? I mean, simply giving away all the information to buyers before you get them signed to an exclusive agency agreement is a huge mistake. I mean, it's okay if you just want to give information away, go for it. But if you want to make a lot of money selling real estate, that's not the way to go about it.
That's right. So when you get down to the offer, like if you look at the buyer offer, if buyers are looking for homes online and you're ending up with the lead, you can probably draw the conclusion that they're not finding the house that they want to buy online. The reason they keep going there is because they just haven't found what it is they're looking for yet. So it's pretty easy to convert them to a face-to-face appointment. You just offer them access to properties that they can't find online. And it's always been there, Craig. Our list includes bank foreclosures, distress sales, company-owned properties. I mean, it's been there from day one.
Yeah, but some of our members get all bent out of shape. They're like, well, I'm not really sending them any information that's different than the other agents. So, how can I say that? How do I find these listings that are different? So James McDonald was on a call with me not too long ago, Todd, and one of the members asked that. They said, well, in good earnest, how can I suggest to the buyer that I'm going to have access to hot new listings that they're not going to get on MLS? I thought what James said was good. James said, well, do you work at a real estate office? And the member said, yeah. And he says, yeah, I work at an office, there's 50 agents. I said, okay. Or James said, look, what if one of the agents you work with in your brokerage said, I've got a brand new listing, or I'm getting a new listing tomorrow, and it's in this price range, in this neighborhood? Would everyone in MLS know about that? Of course not. So that's an example of inside information you would have of hot new listings that would match perhaps a buyer's criteria that nobody knows about. So look we have to make what we're offering sound delicious. If what we're offering doesn't sound special, if it sounds like it's just something the buyer can get anywhere else or from any other agent, you're right, you're not going to be successful. So the first sale that every salesperson must make is to themselves. If you don't believe in your buyer offer, guess how many buyers you're going to meet with? Not too many. So, it's up to you to work this out in your mind, how you're going to get your buyers priority access to hot new listings that aren't easily available anywhere else. Well, there's lots of places. How about a list of homes that have recently expired? How about a list of new homes from builders? Okay. How about a list of for sale by owners? How about of homes in your office? Every week in your office, right, homes get listed that aren't on MLS yet, that you could email to buyers in your database that are looking for a home like that. So that's what you're going to use. That's the hook you're going to use to get the meeting with the buyers and get them signed to the buyer agency agreement. If you want to get them signed up, if you want to put them on IDX after you have them signed up, go for it. But if you're calling back the buyers that are getting your IDX listings, yeah, Todd, it's Craig. I just wondered, we're sending you all the listings if you want to look at anything. Look, or emailing them. Worse is emailing them, right? Because the buyer just like, no, I'm good. I think you've got to be proactive, and you've got to call the buyer up and say, hey, Todd, look, there's 3 homes that came up last week that I think would be really good for you to look at, and I'm wondering if we can go out tomorrow at 4 o'clock to look at those. It's like you said, IDX doesn't sell houses. Email doesn't sell houses. Voicemail doesn't sell houses. You sell houses. You getting the buyer in your car and taking them out and showing houses, that's what's going to make you money. A big mistake members make is even after they get the buyer signed up to a buyer agency agreement, they shake hands at their office and they say, okay, see you later. And a couple of weeks goes by, and then a month goes by, and they don't hear from the buyer. The buyer is cooled out. Hey, when you get that buyer signed to a buyer agency agreement, you make an appointment while they're still together at your office or you're still at their home. Before you leave, you make an appointment to go show them properties. We've got to keep them motivated. We can't just think, well, I've got the buyer contract signed. I'll get them set up on my IDX, and I'm sure eventually they'll find a house they'll like, and they'll call me and we'll go do it. That might happen, but guess what? It might not happen. We got to be a little bit more proactive. We just rely too much on automation, and Todd, you can see where that's getting us.
Yeah, not very far. And I was talking to some Platinum members recently at a meeting, and some of their agents on their team, they had as many as over. Several of them had over 20 buyers signed the buyer agreements. They're selling 1 or 2 houses a month. I thought it laughable, actually criminal. And what that tells me is that they're in the professional meeting business. They're doing really well at getting buyers signed to an agreement, but there's no currency in that in terms of real coin. So look, you sign a buyer to an agreement. Now you go to work. You go find them a house. You call them up. Hey, I got 3 houses to go look at. And you keep doing that till they friggin' buy. And
can everyone? There's steps to this process, right? And what happens is sometimes we become relaxed at a certain point. So what's step number 1 in the system? Generate leads. Okay, so our lead system is better than prospecting, right? We'd all agree. Okay, we're offering something. We're getting buyers and sellers to contact us. We're making it easy and non-threatening for them to do that, to go to our landing pages, to go to our hotlines, and now we have a script. So now, you've generated the lead. Now you got to call them back, and you got to say the right things. And you're not booking these appointments with everybody. You're only booking buyer and seller appointments when you absolutely should, and now you go out there and you do an amazing buyer presentation, an amazing listing presentation. You sign the buyer up to a contract, you sign the seller up to a listing agreement, but still that's not enough. You can do all of that and still make absolutely no money in real estate. So we get to a certain point, it's almost like we take our foot off the gas and slowly put our foot on the brakes. So if you've got a bunch of listings that are not selling, we can teach you proactive things to do to get those listings sold. Todd, your early warning detection system is a perfect example of a system you put in place that if in a couple weeks go by and certain things are happening or not happening, it triggers activity. Okay, and the same thing with buyers. There are very proactive things that we need to do to keep things going, but it's almost like once we get the buyer contract signed or we get the listing contract signed, we think we can relax and certainly good things will happen. Well, that's not true. We can make that much better by implementing systems at that point.
Yeah, so looking back at the callback script here for everybody's benefit, if you look down at the buyer offer, if you need some help on it, it's pretty simple. Hey, would you be interested in getting information on properties, pictures, descriptions of all the homes that match your home buying criteria from all the real estate companies as often as they become available, as well as properties that you can't find on the internet, like foreclosures, company-owned homes, and other distress sales? Does that sound helpful? I mean, that's a pretty simple thing to say to these leads that you're generating from your online systems, okay, if you think it necessary. Our best members that are doing really, really well, everybody needs to know this now, our best members that are doing really well, what you see in front of you here, that's what they say, okay? So that's good, Craig. That's good conversation there, and this definitely needs to be talked about and worked on and drilled down on a regular basis for you and your team in your sales meetings. And do not let your agents get away with emailing back and forth and calling them up and saying, hey, did you see any houses you want to go see? What you think about the emails that I sent you? And that's what Zig Ziglar calls timid salespeople. And you know what timid salespeople have, Craig?
Yep. Skinny kids.
Yeah. Don't have skinny kids.
Hey, so I like what you said. You said to the guys in your office, you said, pretend email and voicemail doesn't exist. Just try it. Just try it with your team members. Pretend it doesn't exist. Get them to continue to call prospects until they actually reach them and have a dialogue. Nothing beats that, by the way. Everything else we talk about, newsletters and sending, all that's to supplement your follow-up, but all of a sudden it's like that's been lost in translation, and now people think that everything else replaces those one-on-one phone calls that you make. And I'm here to tell you, so's Todd, no, absolutely not. Automation has become your enemy when it comes to conversion.
At some levels, this is comical that we're even having to have this conversation. So
hey, Todd, do we have any chat questions at this point? And you probably should take control of this because at some point I need to leave the webinar here. So
yep.
You want to take this back?
Yeah, I will do that here. Let me.
And let's take some of your chat questions here. Type them in. I can't see the chats either. You'll have to pull them off, Todd.
Okay, so let me tell everybody what to do here as I flip this thing back around. If you got some questions or comments here, we need you to chime in. I've got some more information we're going to talk about here, but go ahead and do that. You can raise your hand up in the upper right-hand corner. You can raise your hand. I can open up your microphone, and we can hear from you. You can type in your question, but I would prefer to hear from you live, so if you don't mind doing that. Let's see. Make presenter, Mr. Walters. All right, so I made myself Mr. Presenter.
Boom. Okay, you're on. I'm off.
Yeah, how about that, man? Back to the original screen there. So anyway, I know that most of you guys will agree with what we're saying, especially you that have teams and you get frustrated in your sales meetings and all that kind of good stuff. I get that. So fantastic. Let's do something about it. Okay, so Let's take a look then here at real fast. We do have a few questions, so I'm navigating through this, Craig. I think we have a hand raised or two, so I'm trying to find out. Oh, we do. Okay. So we've got several questions here with their hands raised. So you guys bear with me. I'm going to open up some microphones, and we'll take a couple of questions here. So the first one I have is from Pawan Sharma. So Pawan, I'm going to open up your microphone there. You there, buddy? Pawan? Going once. Going twice. He's had his hand raised for a while. Going 3 times. Pawan, sorry, man. So sometimes your microphones are muted, and you're probably trying to scramble to get it unmuted before I mute your microphone back. So anyway, all right, Philippe Doyen. All right, so Philippe up there in Montreal. I'm going to open up Philippe's microphone here. All right, so Philippe, you there, my man?
I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, buddy.
Okay, perfect. Great to be on the webinar. I had some problems logging in recently, but everything is back to normal. Yeah, I was wondering, when I get the FISBOs to call me on my editorial ads, do you have any tips on how to close gently but subtly on an appointment? Most of them, they just want the report. They don't want to meet with me.
Okay, well, let's role play it real fast. You want to?
Sure.
Okay. I'll be the FISBO, or the prospect anyway, that requested the free report. And let's just hear what you're saying. So you ready? Ring, ring, hello.
Hello, may I speak with Mr. Walters, please?
This is he.
Yeah, Mr. Walters, this is Philip with Group Mackay, and the reason I'm calling is because I received your request for the 12 inspection traps report. Just wanted to let you know that the report is ready, and I'm going to pop it in the mail. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
By the way, were you thinking of making a move in the next 3 to 6 months, Mr. Walters?
We've been kicking it around, but we're not 100% sure yet.
And if you were to move, would you be staying local, or would you be moving out of your neighborhood?
We would stay in the area somewhere, probably across town.
Okay, and if you were to move, when do you think that might be?
Probably toward the latter part of the summer.
And tell me, Mr. Walters, do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right?
No.
And would you be buying your next property before selling, or would you be selling first?
Okay, well, you know what? I don't really get an indication where. So, all right, so let's flip it around now, and I'll be the agent, and you be the prospect.
Okay.
All right, now let's back up. You said, "Hey, I'm talking to some FISBOs, like the FISBO report," right?
No, actually, it's I just had one that called for the 12 inspection traps.
All right, no problem. Let's
okay,
flip it around. Let's just. I'll be the agent, and you be Philippe,
okay.
The seller, prospect, I guess. So. I'm calling you, so ring, ring, say hello.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, hey, Philippe, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and I just giving you a call here. Received your request for a free report, 11 costly home inspection traps to know about before selling your home, and just as a courtesy, let you know we've popped that in the mail to you. You should have that in the next couple days or so. Is that okay?
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic, man. Are you folks planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, we're thinking about finishing renovations and probably selling around August.
Okay, fantastic. Do you have an agent to help you when the time is right?
No, we're not going to take an agent. We're going to sell by ourselves.
Okay, fantastic. Hey, would you like to get an idea then of what you can expect to sell your home for? And I can even give you some tips on what to do, and more importantly, what not to do, so you'll know how much work to do or not do to get the most amount of money out of that thing. And even go over all the costs you'll have so you know how much money you have left in your pocket at closing. Does that sound like it might be helpful?
Well, maybe not right now because I'm not finished doing my renovation. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'm thinking about selling myself. I have a pretty good idea how much my home is worth.
All right. Well, would you like to find out what, based on area home sales, what homes are selling for in your neighborhood, maybe get a more accurate price of what you can expect when you sell it? It's free. You're not obligated to sell or anything.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
So in other words, don't let them throw you off when they say, "Hey, I'm not listing with an agent." Well, of course, I would not expect them to list with an agent if they don't know the benefits in using me. I'm not like the other agents anyway, right? You're not. So just don't be thrown off. It's equivalent to, saying, well, I'm not going to pay more than 3%, commission to anyone, or, it's no different than those kinds of things. Like, don't expect people to know why they should do business with you until they know why, and they don't know why. So you just keep on rolling and get the opportunity to get face-to-face. The only question here is you're a little further out, so I probably wouldn't have pushed for an appointment so aggressively, but you know what? Maybe sooner rather than later is good with these kinds of guys. So you got to use your own judgment on that. But don't be thrown off by the, quote, FSBO routine.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so how's business going for you there, Philippe?
It's going pretty good for the time and the effort I'm putting into it. Probably would have doubled my business over the last year, and I was looking at probably a fourfold over the course of the last 2.5 years. So I think it's going good.
Yeah, I would say so. Those would be quantum leaps. So, all right, man, great job. And did that get your question answered?
Yeah, pretty good.
All right, thanks, buddy. All right, so let's advance on here. So, Craig, did I handle that okay?
Yeah, perfectly. I have to step aside here, but I'll let you continue with the next question.
Yep, and I want to get into a couple of rainmaking activities here in a little bit that I believe everybody's to focus in on, so thank you. All right, so let's go to Ruben Furtado. All right, so Ruben, I'm going to open up your microphone here. I know you've got a good question that's going to benefit everyone, so I'm going to open up your mic, buddy. You there, Ruben?
No, it's actually Carlo Batar. I'm Ruben Furtado's business partner.
All right, fantastic, man. So how's business going for you guys? What 2014 look like?
It was good.
Yeah.
We just joined up together as a team, so trying to integrate all the systems and beautiful USPs and.
So all right, so here's a good question for you. Why would I list my house with you over and above any other agent, or just selling it myself?
Hey, you asked us this question last month. We're working on that, man.
Yeah, well, that's not a good answer.
No, I know.
That's not a good answer, by the way. All right, so here's what I know about you guys, though. You've got a pretty good database of buyers right now, right?
In 30 days, we'll give you $5,000 cash.
All right, well, look, you don't have to, look, everybody should pay attention. You don't have to automatically go to, quote, the performance guarantee. Just about everybody on the webinar today, all of the Platinum members listening, and there's a lot, okay? Just about everybody on the call has the very thing that seller prospects want in your database, and that's buyers. Like you guys have several buyers in your database looking for homes in the area, right?
Yeah.
All right, how many you got? Just for kicks, give me a number.
145.
All right, well, holy moly, dude, that's the first thing out of your mouth. Well, I got 145 buyers in my database looking for a home in the area. How many buyers you need for your house? Like that's one. Yeah, okay, all right, and then you can follow that up with your performance guarantee. So look at, we're confident that we could sell your home if it's market value. So much so that if we don't sell it within X number of days, like you said, we'll pay you a cash penalty of X.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good answer to the question. We got the buyers, and we guarantee performance. Okay, and then you can run right into your offer. Hey, are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? When's a good time for me to take a look at your property here to give you an idea of what you can expect to sell it for? I'll even bring them along on my list of buyers, see if there's a match. Might even already have one. So I know that wasn't your question, but that's my job. I like mystery shopping, guys. Now here's the thing. Right now, if I looked at your business card, if I looked at your website, if I looked at your landing pages, if I looked at your social media sites, and I do not see a unique selling proposition as you guys just described that you have, then guess what? You don't have it. You're no different than all the other agents in your marketplace, no matter how much you get up in the morning thinking you are. Okay? So the easiest way for everybody on this webinar to get listings is just to tell the story. Okay? Start wherever you are, and whatever your unique selling proposition is, it has to be there. Like here's a funny story for you. I get some closing gifts from a fantastic Platinum member Guy does millions of dollars a year in commissions income in Montreal. His name's Francois McKay. You'll get to know him. You'll see him in Anaheim. He's got a great session that he's doing on leadership for everybody's benefit. The guy sells hundreds of homes a year. He's fantastic. He was a top dog winner not too long ago. So he sends me some closing gifts, right? Some mugs. And I'm drinking coffee out of the mugs here in my office one day, and I'm talking to Dana, my assistant, and we start laughing about the same time because we noticed on Francois' mug that it's got a great picture of his logo, but no phone number, no USP, no nothing. Like it doesn't even say what kind of business that he's in. So look, don't think that that all of us do a great job of telling our story on why people should do business with us and above any other agent or any other option everywhere that we are. But that's my job is I get more time on my hands to sit here and look at your businesses and ask these questions and help everybody do it. So anyway, thanks for letting me get that little tidbit in on your time, on your question here. So anyway, you go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, so this is a real-time question just happened about 20 minutes ago. If we get a lead on Boomtown, when's the best time to call them? Because we're like, it shows that they're still on, they've been on for 10 minutes or whatever, and we got the form filled out with their phone number. Yeah, when's the best time to call? When they're on or right after? Or
well, I mean, I would think you'd be calling back as soon as you can. Like when you get a lead, you want to call them back as soon as possible, right?
Okay. No, I just want to know if people find, if it's creepy that you can tell that they're on, because I have no idea. I would call.
Yeah, it seems like that. It seems like that might be the best time to actually reach them. Like they're there, and and they're in front of a computer or they're using their phone, right now. So seems like to me that's logical, good time. But here's how it works. And I've heard this, from people saying, hey, there's this MIT study. You got to call back people within a certain amount of time, a few seconds, and all that stuff. I don't know how many homes those guys sell. Like I don't. These MIT guys, the study they did didn't have anything to do with real estate agents calling back buyers and sellers. That's a fact. And the people that I hear say these things, I don't know how many homes they're selling, appointments they're booking, But Craig, Proctor, myself, like we did okay, man. We got by, our bills got paid. We did okay selling real estate. Craig doing 500 or 600 homes a year. I did 400 to 500 houses a year. Just calling leads back as soon as we can. That's just kind of how it worked, and we kept calling them until we got them. So, because it's like here's what I know about you guys: you get leads, you're not going to let them sit there for days and weeks. You're going to call them back as soon as you possibly can, right?
So Todd, this is Ruben. I'm here with Carla. I just want to frame the question a little bit differently. So let's say they're actually on your Success website or Boomtown and they're doing a search. This would be an unsolicited call. They have not requested any information. We have a system that when somebody's doing a search, it notifies us that this person is on. Now they've entered their information. They've entered their name, contact information, and we can see the properties that they're looking at. So that's the only information that we have, but they haven't selected a form asking for any information other than filling that out in order to proceed with their search. So we don't want to make it look like it's, we want to be sensitive to the fact, and this is what we're asking is, do we let them know that we have visibility to the properties that they just looked at, and how would you transition into that in a conversation?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to answer your question a little different way. I thought I just answered it, but I'll answer it again because you didn't like my answer. So I'm going to answer it a little different way here for everybody's benefit. Let's go to this ad. All right. This is a USP ad. An editorial ad. 11 critical home inspection traps to be aware of weeks before listing your home for sale. And here's the offer and call to action down here. You can get a free report. There's no mention of the real estate agent. There's no mention that an agent's going to call you when you fill out the form or leave your message to get the report. Nowhere on this ad or in the info line or on the website. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in other words, they're not saying, hey, will you call me? They're not saying that, are they?
No, not
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So what is the difference between these ads and the form that they fill out on your website to gain access? What is the difference?
I really don't know.
Right. There's no difference. You got it. They filled out a form to get something.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. That's the commonality. So we're going to pick up the phone and call them right away to let them know that what they wanted to get has been given.
Okay.
Right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
And that's how you get them. That's how you start your conversation. It's on the callback script. We talked about that a little bit ago in today's call, in today's webinar. You know.
Would you reference the properties that they looked at? Or
No. See, here's how it works. Okay. What's your website domain name?
It's RubenFurtado.com.
No, at your Boomtown deal.
Well, that's where you go from RubenFurtado.com and then.
Okay, all right. So we'll spin it a different way. All right. So it goes like this. Hey Ruben, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and the reason I'm calling is I received your request to look for homes online using our property search site. Okay, and just wanted to let you know that we've given you full access there to search away. Is that okay?
No, that's perfect. I completely answered the question there, so
Yeah,
definitely helps.
that's it. And then, you know what they're going to say? Okay, or I didn't know an agent was calling me. And you know what your response is?
No, what is it?
You just keep going. Yeah. So are you guys planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months?
All into the script.
Right. It's just an observation when people say, I didn't know anybody was going to call, or yeah, or oh, this is a real estate company. Yeah. So are you folks planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? Like, you just keep moving, man. Those are just observations and conversations. They're just thinking out loud, that sort of thing. But remember, above all, it's for everybody on this webinar. People wanted something from you. Now, let's back up. That website right there that you guys are using from Boomtown, are you paying for it?
Our company pays for it, yeah.
So you're paying for it. Somebody's funding that.
Yeah.
Okay, you're funding it because somehow it gets funded, right? So,
yeah.
All right. Do you think that the people that are filling out the forms believe it's valuable?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So nobody can convince me that it's a problem to call back these prospects and let them know that you've given them access. You received their request for it because they filled out the form to get access, and you've given it to them. There's an exchange of value here. All right, so anyway, great question. Yeah, great question. All right, did I get it answered? So what's your big plans for 2015 here? You guys going to sell some houses?
Well, I hope so. That's the plan, Otherwise, we're going to have to hunt you and Craig down.
Yeah, we'll try not to bankrupt you.
Because these ads are definitely costing a pretty penny, some of the mailers we're getting or we're sending out.
All right, so let's talk about that real fast because I've got something that might help everybody. Let's see, I'm looking for, I scrolled down here and lost your card, so hang on one second. It was Ruben, right? Yeah, Ruben, there you go, I found you. Had to scroll down through my, couple hundred names here on the webinar, try to find you guys. I moved it around. So anyway, so what are you mailing?
We're mailing, we have a couple of exclusive listings, and they haven't hit the market yet. They're custom-built homes on the higher end of prices, and we're mailing out, buy this home with me and we'll sell yours for free. And then the other side is a performance guarantee of we'll sell your house for 100% of market value or we'll pay you the difference. And the simple call to action for the actual house is visit 539jeanette.com as an example for a sneak preview of a video. I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's pretty much the gist of it. A preview video of the home, and to sign up for, we kind of labeled it as a preview party before it hits the market, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Who are you mailing it to?
The surrounding neighborhoods, or the neighborhoods that we think that would actually buy, kind of move up. It's kind of the houses. Both houses are in neighborhoods where people dream of living. They're both like around that just under $2 million mark of these homes. So we figured out which neighborhoods these people would come from that would buy it, like certain. You know what I mean? this move-up neighborhoods.
All right, well, here's what I would do. Number one, you're spending a lot of money on things that you have no idea if it'll work, because what you just described to me is not in our library, correct? Mm-hmm. Like you made this ad up on your own. Is that right?
I think so. We
yeah, because I get it. I get it. Use the USP, but you're leveraging a property that's a move-up home, and you got everything kind of centered around that. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you're sending it to people in neighborhoods that you think would be interested in that kind of thing. So I just want to make sure I got it right.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so,
also
all right.
where we want buyers to buy.
Right. I got you, but you're not telling them that. You're telling them to buy that house.
And also, if you sell your house with us, then we'll sell for 100% market value.
Right. So there's a few issues there with that concept. Number one, you don't know if it's going to work, and I sure as don't know, because I've never done that. So what you would probably be more wiser to do with your money is you test it first. So if you've got something, if you want to leverage a house that you think is pretty cool, and you want to test your message around leveraging that property, you would obviously send it to a smaller group of people, i.e. people that already have their homes for sale in the price range that were more likely to move up to a home in that price range, right? So if you can get quote active listings to respond to your offer, then you know you got a good offer and you can expand it. All right, but if you can't get those people to respond to it, you sure as hell ain't gonna get people to respond to it that have no interest in moving.
Could you repeat that? You mean active listings, people that have their house listed with somebody else?
Right, like you're sending an offer out that you have no idea if it's going to work. Did I get that right?
Yeah, we don't.
Okay, all right. And it's not one of my postcards or Craig's.
No.
All right. So, and this is, and just as a side note here for everybody's benefit, that's not what we prescribe. But I'm not going to tell you not to try things. Okay, we never do that, because sometimes we stumble on something that's just, we stumble onto something. So if you want to try something, you want to test it with a smaller group of people first, a group of high priority prospects. So obviously, people who are selling their homes in the area that are in a price range that would be the kind of buyers that would be most interested in the homes that you have in that higher price range. Like if you can't get them to respond to your postcard offer, then you know that you won't get people who aren't even thinking about selling to respond. Right? It's like a just sold card. Okay, so let's look at that. And I got that right here on my computer. Okay.
Can I point something out really quick?
Yeah, man.
We've been handing these out in small doses, like 500 or 150 at a time, testing them out similar to what you're saying. And with our call with our coach Mark earlier this week, it seems like we're getting a good response. Like I just sent out, let's say 150 last week. I literally walked around and put them in people's doors, and we got about 2 or 3 responses out of 150. Apparently, that's pretty good. We're not used to.
Well, here's how that works. Number one rule: if you spend money, what are you making? Spend money, what are you making? Spend money, what are you making? And that's how you measure things. So if you invest, like you guys said, I'm spending some money here. So if you're making X number of dollars above that, that's pretty good. And of course, you got to give this some time a little bit. I'm just making obvious recommendations. Like if you've got a bunch of people in your marketplace with their hand raised that says, hey, I'm moving, I'm selling my house, I'm thinking about buying something else, and you know who they are, well, it would only make sense that if you've got an offer that you think would be good for the general public there, you can test it with those guys. And if they respond to it, then you expand it to your larger audience. That's all. That's how this works. And there's nothing wrong with that. As far as farming goes, you want to get listings out of it, then a singular message would be better. You got about 3 different offers on that one postcard, and they sound pretty good. But again, I don't know if it's going to work. So that's how you measure it. Number one, are we making money? We spend X, we get X, times that. And then secondly, if I'm going to start a marketing campaign that's a little bit different, who should I start it with? and to know whether I go big or not. And that's, always wise. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. But I was curious when you said, hey, we're spending some money, so we need it to work. All right. Sweet. All right. So do you have any listings yet or any contracts yet as a result of that postcard?
We're horrible at tracking, but I don't think we have any listings. We have a couple of buyers that have not signed a buyer agency agreement that are, well, we got a good response in terms of that. No deals or no contracts signed.
Okay. So you don't. All right. So you haven't made any money yet from that endeavor.
No.
All right.
The house is not listed yet.
All right. Okay. All right. So what's the average price range for your market?
So that market, 1.8 million.
Mm-hmm.
There's other surrounding markets. Like this is kind of where everyone in the neighborhood wants to live eventually, you know. But then there's obviously the outskirts of it where you can move up.
All right. Do me a favor. Zip me an email of your postcard.
Okay.
That'd be sweet.
I did. You responded to it actually.
Okay. Yeah. Send me another copy if you don't mind.
Sure.
And we'll forward it around.
I responded. You gave some good feedback on it.
Good. Hopefully you took advantage of it. And but yeah, it's, all these things. Look, if you got something good, let me give you an example. You ever had a listing that you put on the market and you get like 3 or 4 offers and the thing's under contract within like 2 or 3 days? You ever have one of those?
Yeah, that's our market. Like.
Yeah. So you know what that means? That means that the prospects or the marketplace is telling you this is the kind of homes you advertise. In other words, you can't wait till you get listings like that. The market's telling you this is what you need to advertise to get us to call you. So you create marketing campaigns around what those people want. Whether you have the listings or not doesn't matter. But that's great intelligence when you stumble across those things. So just remember that. And you can create postcards all the time. You don't need to wait on a listing that you have. You can do that right now on any property. So anyway, great job, man. All right, well, send me another copy of that because I don't have it in my inbox. I'd love to.
Yeah, we revised it a little bit based on what you.
All right, well, let me see it again, and maybe we keep drilling down and refining the target market for it. It's worth spending a little bit of money on. It doesn't sound like you're breaking the bank on mass mailing it to a lot of people, but
individual people mail it.
Yeah.
The neighborhood is a little bit prestigious where you can't actually. They can put a sticker on their mailbox, on their pigeon box, where they put the mail and they don't get any flyers. So you actually have to physically put it in their house, like on their door. So. That's where I was doing it. I don't mind doing it at all, but really you can only cover so much ground in so much time, right?
Well, to me it's a test. Like you're doing this to try to test your market offer. That's really what you're doing here. And then if it works, you expand it and you can direct mail it and those kind of things, and we can go from there. All right, man. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, email it over to me. I'd appreciate that at tw@toddwalters.com so I can take another look at it. And I vaguely remember it, by the way. I can't find it in your file. Okay, so look, we've got a couple of other questions here. I want to get to those, and I'm trying to throw as much gold nuggets at you guys to get you thinking about your business in different ways, challenge the status quo along the way. So there's a couple other hands raised here. I just don't know if you guys are still live, like Tanya Taberski. So Tanya, I'm going to open up your microphone. You had your hand raised for a little while. I apologize you had to wait so long, but I'm going to open up your mic. So here we go, Miss Tanya. You there? Tanya? Tanya. Can you hear me? I guess not. So I apologize about that. You guys try to stay with me now, and I know that there's distractions going on behind the scenes, all those kind of things. So anyway, let's see here. I think we've got a couple other questions, and I'll try to deal with these as best I can on my own. All right, so hang on one second here. Let me pull up the questions tab. Oh, George, that's who I was looking for. George, I want to ask you some very specific questions about some direct mail that you're sending me. So Mr. George Lorimer, I'm going to open up your mic here. George, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Great, Todd. How about you?
I'm better than good today. I appreciate you asking me. So you've done a really good job here of pretending that I am a seller prospect, and you're mailing me stuff, right?
Good.
So I appreciate that. So, but let's, even though I'm getting it, let's turn it back on you. How's your response doing? You're investing some money in this direct mail marketing that you're doing, and we'll talk about what it is in a minute, if it's worth it. Getting any listings?
Yeah, absolutely, I am. One thing I changed is I changed the USP headline on everything.
To?
Your home's sold or I'll buy it, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started adding, instead of just sold within a neighborhood, I started adding seller prospects, likely expireds, and people that I had done either automated CMAs.
Mm-hmm.
I had added them to the mix.
To the mailing list, okay. And that's smart. You got seller prospects. You want them to get stuff from you.
Right.
All right, so this is the 4-page sales letter that is pretty good. You've got a colored envelope on different mailings. You've got Dan Kennedy inserts inside this 4-page sales letter, and you've dropped in a USP business card along the way. So you're making some money from it.
Yeah, and then the next step too is I wasn't doing the USB propers on adding the insert from Dan Kennedy, and then I also ordered the yellow stickies as well. And so since you've gotten it, that's been one thing that you had asked. And so, like you had said, so the card, you want it to have some life. So the sales card falls out, the sticky they put on their computer monitor. I have a audio CD that goes out for a bomb type of thing, as well as a home seller DVD, the tips on pricing and preparing your home to sell. And so as I get the people coming in as the prospect, I also offer, like on my newsletter, the report, call for your 2015 home seller kit. So I just got a caller on that one last week.
All right. Well, good. So you're having some great success there, penetrating these mailboxes. All right, so fantastic.
I'm moving them forward, yeah. And one more thing, Todd, I'm using, on my appointments, I'm using the Ultimate Converter, and that's working well as well.
All right, so yeah, hopefully everybody has that. If you don't have the Ultimate Converter, you're really missing out. That's a game changer after you generate leads and appointments. I'd recommend everybody get it. I know it's a little bit of an investment at whatever it is, $299 or something like that. But it might be the best $300 you'll spend if you're getting leads and you're working on converting these strangers, people who don't know you, to appointments. It's good leverage, especially in pre-selling. So just plugging that deal. If you don't know about it, or want to find out more about that, whatever these Ultimate Converters are, you can zip me an email at tw@toddwalters.com. tw@toddwalters.com, and I will forward that over to the guys over at Lifestyle Media. All right, so anyway, George, you had a question, I think.
Yeah, so my question was on, so I got a couple of people that work with me on my team, and should I have a weekly team meeting, and should it be like face-to-face webinar? Should I require it for them to get leads? What should I do on that?
Weekly team meeting. When do you do your meetings?
Monday morning, 8:30.
All right, let's take a look at your meeting. All right, so here we go. Perfect sales meeting. All right, so when you do your meetings, what is the number one thing on your agenda? What do you start with?
I usually start with the leads and go over the universal callback script.
All right, so let's reverse it. Or let's start with something a little bit different next time.
Okay.
The number one thing you want to accomplish, I'm guessing, is you want your guys selling houses. And
yeah.
All right, so I would talk about that first. Okay, so for example, if you're on my team, I'd say, okay, George, what is your number one money-making opportunity this week? And if you can't answer that question for me, we got a problem.
Yeah, so they'd say, I've been showing the Jones, they're pretty close to pulling the trigger, we're 5,000 apart on a counter or something like that. So you talk them through it, reduce the ridiculous, get them to move forward with that client.
Right, so you talk strategy and you move around your room. Okay, so that's number one money-making opportunity with buyers. What's your number one money-making opportunity with sellers. So you run through that, then you look at your critical mass people, critical mass buyers, critical mass sellers. In other words, people that, if we don't change the outcome with this client, we're going to lose them. They're going to fire us, they're going to quit, or whatever. So you deal with those. That's where the money is right now on the table. Converting leads, new leads to appointments, and converting appointments to signed agreements, that's future business. So your sales meetings are about sales. Okay? When you talk about lead conversion and the callback script and stuff like that, that's not a sales meeting. That's a training meeting.
Okay.
All right? So you're training your team now. So I would use my time when I've got a group setting to drill down on the business that we have on the plate right now, turning it into money. Okay?
Okay.
When it comes to training people, dude, it's just way better to do shadowing. Like, just have them shadow you.
Okay.
They listen to you make calls, you listen to them make calls. They go with you on appointments, you go with them on appointments. That happens every day.
All right.
And that's way better than sitting in a room on a conference table role playing, and then they leave you and forget everything that you talked about and did. And, one buyer throws them a curveball and or seller over the phone and they can't hit it. So I'd spend more time shadowing, and at your sales meetings a little bit more time right now with the way your structure is, working on sales.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's just my advice. Now, if you're going to work on training at your sales meetings, do it like this. Pick one slide from the buyer presentation or the listing presentation, just one slide. Okay, that's it. Not two slides, just one, and just talk about that one slide.
Okay.
And that'll be remembered way more than talking about the whole thing, and that sort of deal. But my expectation and Craig's expectation is that you guys are training your team via shadowing. All right? Can't replace that, man. That's a game changer. Mystery shopping and shadowing. Let's see what else we got here on the perfect sales meeting. Let's see here. Here we go, down here at the bottom. Referral getting. So you run around the table, you talk about referral. Okay, how many referrals did you get this week, George? Okay. Did you? Yeah, on your appointments that you went on, I'm looking at your files here. I got 3 files that I had Mary give me, and I'm looking at them, and you didn't get the referral form signed. When you got the buyer agreement signed with these guys, what happened?
I see. Okay.
Yep. So it's mandatory paperwork, George. You flip the buyer agreement over. The last page of the buyer agreement is the referral offer. You got to plant the seeds when we first get the clients, George, because for the rest of our business life, this client here is going to hear about our referral offer. So we need to condition them now so that they're helping us grow our business, and we're benefiting their friends and family. So you got to get that form signed, dude, and give them a couple of cards, with the referral offer on it, your business cards. All right, so let's talk about that. So you've got in your mailings that you send me, George, you've got these USP cards that you've generated. So it's not a business card in the sense of a traditional business card, but it is. It's a business card with your picture, your USP is prevalent, phone number, and that's about it. All right. So for clients and past clients, just have the same thing done, but on one side is your USP and stuff, and on the other side is your referral offer. So on your clients and past clients, you give them those cards. Drop those cards into the mail to those guys. All right? That's the story that you need from your clients and past clients, is you want them to send you people that are interested in making a move. And so you have to make that offer. And there's no rule that says you have to get a business card template and that's the only card that you use. That's what the majority does, and the majority of anything probably not so good and wise to follow. So I'd recommend you have 2 or 3 different kinds of, quote, business cards for different kinds of relationships, prospects, past clients, maybe some others, agents, recruiting agents, whatever.
And you just do it like George's referral rewards, have them go to that URL and basically that?
Yeah, you're going to have to shorten it up, like how your referrals help the kids. We're on a mission to raise $10,000 for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta this year. So, every transaction we do, we donate a substantial portion to that worthy cause. So who you know that's considering making a move that can benefit from our award-winning service, and we can contribute mightily to this worthy cause. Here's what you do now. And you probably want them to call you. But you can give a URL too.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, pretty good. And then the next thing when you're on your sales meetings is you talk about testimonials. All right, so if you're an agent on my team, I say, okay, George, who have you done business with the last week that would make a great testimonial? What's their story? Why? Why do you say that? And I'm going to drill down and I'm going to make a decision whether we go with that person for a testimonial. That's a rainmaking activity.
Okay.
All right, and here's how I wrap it up. Is I say, okay, George, the agents that you've come into contact over the last week, any of them that you think would be a really good fit for our team? All right.
Good.
Yep.
Got it.
So there you go. That's the perfect sales meeting. That was worth the hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes of hanging around on the webinar today.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, my man. Thanks, George. You go sell some houses. Keep the direct mail coming. George has done a great job of sending me his stuff. So hopefully you guys get all jazzed about some of that. And, we're pretty much out of time, so I'm going to let you guys get back to working here. But let me throw this up on the screen. The Super Bowl of Platinum Money-Making Summits. So here's what you want to do. You want to go to the coaching site. Okay, so let's pull that up. Coaching site. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to go to the Schedule tab. All right, and I'm going to click on Live Meetings. All right, Live Meetings, Schedule tab. Where'd it go? Schedule tab, Live Meetings. All right, and I'm going to register on this page, and you can see I'm already registered, right, because I'm an admin. And there's the Platinum event, April 9th, 10th, and 11th. Okay, and you'll be able to download the agenda shortly. Here's the agenda. Okay, we've been refining it and working on it. And this is the Super Bowl, guys, of money-making summits. And it's specifically all about you building a championship team. You're not going to be disappointed here. Whatever sacrifice you got to make to be there, get to Anaheim April 9th, 10th, and 11th. Your world will change as a result of that. And you know the commonality among our top members. Those guys that are making $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, $6 million a year in real estate commissions, the commonalities are they are at these live events. They are engaged. They have other things going in their life. Their kids are involved in activities. They have vacations that they want to do. Okay, but make no mistake about it, man. They're at the top of the pyramid there because they make some sacrifices in those areas to work on their business. And so you just have to make decisions sometimes whether you want to do that. Okay? My daughter playing softball at the University of Missouri, April 9th, 10th, 11th weekend, they've got an SEC conference game. I'm not going to be there. It's just part of my world. Okay? I'm going to be working on my business with you guys. Okay? It only comes around, certain times. There's going to be conflicts in life, but you have to make decisions sometimes. And you're rewarded for those things. Okay? So anyway, that's my pitch, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. With that, I'm going to wrap up today's webinar. If you get any follow-up questions, shoot me a note or get with your coach. We'll schedule a conference call together. We'll go to work on your business there. Looking forward to seeing those of you that didn't make it to Orlando down in Fort Lauderdale next month at the Platinum OSA workshop. It is full, by the way. Outside of that, see you at the summit. Let's go sell some houses. We'll talk to you guys soon now. Take care.